the gray sky's getting darker. I'm up to my eyes in the rising tide of things I thought I'd never say. Take my last breath, God, I've got nothing to prove. Let the song of my old life be my news. And if I don't make it, don't mourn me. Just take me down deep for a black water baptism. Break my reflection in a dark-hearted prison. Push me under the surface till the breathing stops.
Welcome back to the channel. So I got to talk about this story coming out of Boston about this police officer who got charged with manslaughter for doing his job. So a cop responds to a violent felony, a carjacking. The suspect refuses commands, uses a vehicle like a weapon, rams a police cruiser. And the cop, he fires. Threat stops. That's it. That's the moment. That's the job. And now, he's being charged with manslaughter. Yeah, I know. You're sitting there thinking the same thing I am. What the hell just happened? So let me walk you through this nice and slow. We got Boston police officer Nicholas O'Malley, 33 years old, married, 2 small children. He shows up exactly to do what we expect cops to do. Respond, take control, stop a dangerous situation from getting worse. The suspect? Stevenson King, 39 years old. Not exactly a first-time offender. This guy was picked up last year with a loaded ghost gun. That's no serial number, folks. It was tucked under a sweatshirt, so he got charged for firearms, ammo, the whole package. So we're not exactly dealing with a Boy Scout who took a wrong turn here. We're dealing with someone who already showed you who he is. Now fast forward to the scene. Commands are given multiple times. He doesn't listen. Instead, he hits the gas, backs up, and slams into a police cruiser. Now, I got to ask you something. In what universe, in what fantasy land, is that not a deadly threat? You got a multi-ton vehicle being used against officers. You think that thing can't kill someone? You think the officer's supposed to just stand there and hope for the best? That's not how reality works. So O'Malley, he does what he's trained to do. He ends the threat. And what does the system do? Does it back him? Does it say, hey, let's review this, look at the facts, follow the policy? Nope. They slap cuffs on him and say, congratulations, you're the criminal now. So manslaughter. Now that word carries weight. That word says you were reckless, careless, out of line. So let me ask you the question nobody in those press conferences wants to answer. Where's the recklessness? Is it in stopping a fleeing violent suspect? Or is it in pretending a vehicle being used like a battering ram isn't a deadly weapon? And then, oh, this is my favorite part. You get the polished statements. You got Boston Mayor Michelle Wu. All right, she's talking about transparency and justice. Transparency? Yeah, you got it. Here's some transparency for you. A cop did his job, and now he's paying for it. Folks, this isn't about justice. This is about optics. This is about feeding a narrative that says, no matter what happens, the cop is probably wrong. So what do? Well, they move fast. They make an example. And they hope that satisfies the loudest voices in the room. But let me tell you what it actually does. It sends a message. A real clear one. Every cop watching this is thinking the same thing. They're saying to themselves, if I'm in that position, am I next? Now you tell me. What happens when that thought creeps in during a call? What happens when hesitation replaces instinct? When an officer starts second-guessing a decision that needs to be made in half a second? People get hurt. Cops get hurt. Civilians get hurt. Because now the priority isn't survival. It's, how's this going to look on the evening news? And while this is all happening, folks, departments across the country are struggling to find recruits. You think that's a mystery? You think people are lining up to take this job? Nope. They're walking away, folks. And the ones still doing it, they're under a microscope. Every move analyzed. Every decision questioned. Every action judged by people who's never stood in that moment. Folks, this hits home for me. I got 19 years in this line of work. Let me give you something real. This job is dangerous. It always has been. But what's changed? What happens after? In other words, you can do everything right. Follow your training, make the call you were trained to make, and still end up in a courtroom trying to explain why you didn't let yourself get run over. Now think about how insane that is. And here's the kicker. If a suspect uses a car as a weapon, if he refuses commands, if he's already proven he's willing to escalate, what exactly is the officer supposed to do? Wait? Negotiate with a moving vehicle? Hope the guy suddenly finds his conscience? Folks, that's not policing. That's fantasy. So yeah, let's ask the question again. Real simple, real honest. Who the hell would want to be a cop right now? Or a corrections officer, or any looking to work in that line of work? Because from where I'm sitting, it looks like the job didn't get just harder. It got a whole lot more dangerous. From both sides. And if that doesn't concern you, you're not paying attention.